Hey, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you're doing great. I don't usually use the live feature if I want to discuss a video that I'm scheduling, but today my camera stand snapped in half, and it's just easier for me to do this on a live and just have it locked and loaded and ready so that Friday, when this video goes live, you'll have it. Happy Fibro Friday to you all. You'll be watching this on Fibro Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or sometime after that. I got an excellent question from a viewer. Thank you for leaving a comment and a question and for watching, of course. Kenya Alexander, 7252. Thank you, Kenya, for this question. It's excellent. And I don't know how I never thought about this question before. Like, I think I've thought about it, but I've never made a video on it specifically. But it was such a great question. I couldn't let it sit. And I'm really glad I saw your question before Fibro Friday came along. Kenya's question was, how can you make a living when you're chronically ill? Like, this is such a practical and perfect question to ask if you are someone who suffers from chronic illness, because the main things that employment has required since the past few thousand years is your physical presence, right? If you wanted to earn money, you had to physically be there and you had to be somewhat predictable with this, because the moment that you were absent or unpredictable in any way, you no longer had a job, right? So the question is, times are changing, but what is available to you if you are chronically ill and you want to make a living? Fantastic, fantastic question, and I'm happy to answer it to the best of my ability. And I do not pretend to be all knowing on this at all. Certainly not a doctor. Let me put that disclaimer out there. Certainly not a doctor, but I can say, even as someone who has worked a variety of jobs over the years, this was never something I had to encounter head on prior to 2018, 2019, when my symptoms just got completely out of control. So let's start. I'll start a little bit with my story, but I'll weave in the things you need to know as I give you bits and pieces of my story. So I'm a federal employee and I've been a Fed for coming up on 20 years now. So I've been at a few agencies, and for sure, 2 out of the 3 agencies that I've worked for would be perfectly fine to work for if you're chronically ill. Very flexible, reasonable people. One of those 3 agencies I work for, absolutely not. And so I'm very glad that my illness, if I had to have it at all, that it peaked when I was with an employer who was far more flexible and understanding, okay? So if you are already working, definitely go to your employee handbook, look at what provisions are in place for you. Do you have FMLA? Do you have short-term disability as an option? Do you have flexible work options? What does that look like? And see what you can do if you already have employment. That's the first thing. Work within it as much as you can. And you may find there's nothing there. That's a possibility. If there's nothing there and you can't make what you currently have work, then you do have some options. The first place I'd recommend you start is wearecapable.org. That is a website that is dedicated to flexible work options for people who have chronic illness. So it's a perfect place to go. Of course, all of these details will be in the description. You do not have to look for them. They'll be in the description box for your convenience. But We Are Capable, it's made for people who are unable to keep or get a job because of their condition, right? After going there, there is another option for you, which is Flex Jobs. Flex Jobs, again, will be in the description box, is another great option because the jobs are by default flexible. Many of them are remote. Most of them are remote, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't used it in several years. When I was looking for something else because I didn't know if I would ever get back to working my federal job, you know, just a little bit of a flash forward. I did. I'm working a federal job now. So I was able to come back, but I didn't know what my health was going to lead me to. I thought maybe I'd have to leave at some point. But in any case, flex jobs, you want to look at them as well, because even though we are capable, it's probably scraping, I'm guessing, different remote and flexible job databases as much as possible, things still slip through the cracks. So go ahead and get on flex jobs as well. If you are on flex jobs, see if you can get a discount to buying a membership there, because it can be, it's not, pricey is relative, right? But last time I checked, it was like $120, I think, for the year, something like that. And if you are trying to conserve your resources, that may not be the best investment upfront for you right now. It may not be something that you can do right now. So if you can get a free pass to Flex Jobs, do it. If you can't get some sort of free pass to it, then certainly see if you can get some sort of limited membership until you're able to get more of a membership there, right? Now, that, of course, is for traditional work. If you are looking for something else, there are options there too. If you are slightly creative, you can absolutely make a very respectable living even while chronically ill. Create when you can, when you have the energy, when you're feeling up to it, when you have the time. Create in those pockets of time. I did this with writing. I did this because I've published many books. I did this with writing quite a few times. I've done this with other little projects that I've taken on over the years. Work it in the pockets of time that you have when you're feeling a little creative or when you just have the energy. Do what you can. Do what you can with that. So create where you can and think about what that means for you. Are you going to go onto Etsy with the things you create? You can if you want to. But if you list on Etsy, just that, they charge per listing. So you may spend a little money before you make money. Just a heads up and full disclosure on that one. So create when you have energy. This is such a big one, and I'm so glad that it even exists for you to take advantage of. Use AI. Please leverage it. Use it. ChatGPT, Claude. You do not have to be super computer savvy to use these. If you can type and you can describe what you want, you can use it and just get really good at asking it all the questions. You use the AI to make templates so that you can lighten your mental load. You can use AI to structure your job search using the energy you have more wisely. You can target different employers that would be good for you. You, especially if you get like an upgraded um, membership or upgraded subscription to ChatGPT or Claude, if you pay to use it, you can get live real-time data to check your questions against. So I'd recommend definitely leveraging AI as much as you can. Ask AI about where should you apply, what, you can give AI a list of your skills and have it spit out to you what kind of jobs you are best suited for. If you all would like an AI for chronic illness tutorial, you don't even have to ask. I'm going to go ahead and put that on the books. But if there's something specific you want to be included with that, let me know. I am happy to do that because I have used ChatGPT for as long as I've known about it. So over a year now. And it's become kind of a third arm for me. I use it all the time. And you can use it for a variety of things. So if you are chronically ill, there are many things that you can do on AI that can help you to make the living that you need to take care of yourself. Okay. Let's see. I have a list here. That's why I'm going down. Looking at your job to see your medical rights. Yes. Oh, the biggest Hail Mary in this: when you are chronically ill, make sure that you have at least one profile set up for a platform where you can just hop on and make money by the hour. Okay. For me and for many people, that's Cambly. Cambly is incredible. It is for native English speakers. You just converse with people and you are paid. It is not a huge amount, but you are paid $10 roughly US per hour just to talk to people. If you can answer more technical English language questions, that's fine. But most people don't need that. They just want to practice speaking English with a native speaker. You don't have to have a very clear accent. I have a Southern accent. It's not super heavy, but I have a Southern accent. And many people have sought me out because I don't speak as fast as some more Northern accents, but I don't have as much heaviness as far as the accent goes, like if you would if you were talking to someone from the Deep South. Set up your Cambly profile, please. If times get a little tough, if you can find an hour here or there, you can hop on Cambly and just be available to converse with people. I signed up when I first signed on Cambly. It was back at the end of 2019. I was back at work after having a pretty much on and off year and a half with my sickness. I got on Cambly. It was a little bit before COVID. And they actually, my students, because I had a couple of Chinese students, let me know about COVID first. They were the first people to notify me. But because I wasn't really hearing anything stateside. That being said, I got on there. And the strategy that I recommend to anyone, if you're going to do Cambly, is to sign up for priority hours. If you are chronically ill and you don't know when you'll feel well, then of course don't sign up for priority hours 3 or 4 days in the future. Sign up for priority hours later today, or in an hour to sign up for those priority hours as they're closer to the imminent time or the immediate time. Sign up for those priority hours. When you sign up for them, then you just do the hour, you get paid. You can go nap if you want to. It's not a lot, but for sure, when I was first returning to work, I was paying back my healthcare premiums for the days I lost. I was also kind of catching up things that may have gotten, cards, credit cards that had gotten a little higher than I like, even though I was paying the minimums, they were a little higher than I like. I wanted to kind of start prepaying on some things like my mortgage. I like to pay a little more every month, and I was stuck to paying the exact amount when I was at my sickest. Listen, get on Cambly, do a few hours a week to get a little money in your pocket. They deposit every week. The deposit day is Tuesday. You get paid for all the hours you work from Monday evening up to the following Monday morning. Tuesday, you get your money. You start on Cambly now, get signed up and get all your stuff set up. You can be working in a couple of days and you can work the hours that you feel best. And it's a great way to just get something coming in if you are struggling to make a living through traditional means. There are other websites that do the same thing, but I don't know all of them. I just know about Cambly because that's the one I did. And it was a very much a lifesaver to have a way to make money quickly that I knew would be in my PayPal within the week. If things were tough. I'm glad I'm not in a situation where I have to do that anymore, but I'm still on Cambly because I like having that little ace in my pocket, you know? So that is my biggest recommendation. If you are highly skilled, yes, consider monetizing your skills outside of an employer. If you are less skilled, Cambly works for anybody, any skill level. But if you are highly skilled, you may not need to do Cambly. You might be able to just take your skills, package them into some sort of product or course or ebook, which is technically all product. Package it up, make it available on a platform that's, allows for evergreen sales. You could do that, but that can sometimes take time to build up. And to be very honest, if it's taking time to build up, you may not have that time if you're trying to pay your bills, right? So consider that. But if you're highly skilled, do that. If you have fewer skills, Cambly is definitely a great one. Get some extra skills. It is hard to do when you're chronically ill. I'll be the first to say. Acquiring more skills when you're sick, especially with something like specifically fibromyalgia, where fibro fog is a thing. Trying to retain more information when you're already experiencing cognitive issues is a bear, okay? So instead of trying to get perhaps a whole new skill set, perhaps expand on whatever skill you do have. Let's say you are a hairstylist, right? Perhaps you love styling hair, but you can't do that anymore because it requires you to, one, be predictable when you're available to do hair. You have to be able to stand up and use your arms and hands, and it requires a lot physically out of you. Perhaps if you are a hairstylist or someone doing something slightly physical, maybe you can write a guide on the best new techniques. You don't have to explain the techniques necessarily, not in depth, but you could write a book about that and make it available. Or perhaps instead of you standing on your feet and doing client by client by client, maybe you can do like a workshop where you're only standing up for 3 or 4 hours, but everybody that's in attendance pays to see what you do to learn a particular technique or strategy. You have quadrupled, maybe even 10 extra money or more for 4 hours of work on one day. So think about expanding your skill into selling your skill, but also if you have a particular skill set that maybe isn't like a medical degree or some sort of terminal degree, maybe you've got some other credential that you can take and do things with, then figure out how to expand on that. If you have a particular field that you're in or that you're interested in, and you want to ask questions about that, feel free to leave them in the comments. I answer all of my comments. So at least I see them. Sometimes they don't require answering, but if it's a question, I will answer it. So feel free to do that. So, yes, expanding your skill is crucial, but it's hard to do when you're sick. You can build on it, going back to the hairstylist example. Maybe you don't want to make a product, maybe master one hot hair skill right now. Let's say it's a hot hair skill. This is an old skill, but tree braids. Let's pretend this was the beginning of the tree braid era and you are chronically ill. Instead of you trying to master 15 different techniques, just pick the hottest one, get good at that, and charge a lot for it before a lot of other people get hip to it and start charging less. Okay. And by charge a lot, I mean get paid what your time is worth, right? Not necessarily extortion. But yes, Cambly is a good one to have in your back pocket. Leverage AI as much as you can. Take whatever skill you do have and expand it, or if you are highly skilled, learn how to package and sell those skills. Um, Keep flexible work at the forefront of your mind. Flex jobs, we are capable. They are there to help you, and create when you have energy. Rest if you can, when you can, rest. And then when you have a few minutes where you feel okay, ask yourself, what would it be fun to do to make? And just make the thing and figure out if it's something you can sell. Aim for something you can sell: booklets, notebooks, planners, t-shirts, stickers, whatever. If you have a particular idea or you want to get a more in-depth tutorial on some particular way to make a living when you're chronically ill, let me know. Spell it out as best you can, and I will try to create something. For sure, I think the AI for chronically ill people is the tutorial that will be coming out very, very soon. And I can kind of show you all what it looks like to make something happen when you are very ill and you may not have all of the energy and all the time. How to use AI to quickly and easily get your life more streamlined and to make your activities more lucrative, because it can be done. I've seen it. I'm not by any means an AI expert. I've been playing around with it for over a year though, and I've made money through AI, and not on trashy stuff either. Like I didn't write garbage ebooks or anything like that. I sold images through AI several times on different platforms. So the money is there, the opportunities are there. You don't have to sell images. You can do whatever you like, but you can use AI to help you with that. Let's see. Medical rights, create when you have energy, flexible work, AI leverage, Cambly, we are capable. Oh, I did make a fun note on my list. Watch the movie 9 to 5 if you haven't already watched it. Consider watching it. It has great actresses in it, Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, and Dolly Parton. And I'm not going to give away the plot, but watch that movie. It shows that even though, yes, it's fiction, it's funny, it's humorous, but even in the 80s, the need for more flexible work was always there. This is not a new request. So don't feel like your illness is creating this brand new scenario for an employer. They've been talking about this particular issue for decades now. Familiar to everyone is the fact that most workplaces are rigid, and change only comes when the employees push for it. You can push hard, you can push gentle, doesn't really matter. 9 to 5 is a good example of this. In the movie, at one point, you see the changes that were implemented when the boss was away. And those changes improve productivity and improve overall happiness with the work, right? And with coming to the job. So just remember that if you think you are the first to want these things in your current job, you are not. And you may be the person that lights the fire in them to create more flexible circumstances. It has happened. I've seen it happen in people's workplaces before. One person had a concern and it just kind of set the ball in motion. So if you are worried about that, trust me, your employer already knows it can be more flexible. They too have seen 9 to 5. It is an old movie. It's not brand new. And the concept itself is not brand new. We've been talking about this for decades now. So just know your need for flexibility is not unheard of. Your need to earn income is not frivolous. You can absolutely earn the income you want and need. You can create a lifestyle that accommodates your condition, and you can still live comfortably and well. But it does take a bit of planning. Let me know what you want me to put in that AI tutorial, AI for chronic illness tutorial. I'll put in what I can, and I will also work on some other things for you all because I really, really do believe that most people just need the right tools and the right information to get on track. And if I have those things for you, I'm happy to share. So that's it for today. This is actually a bit longer than I normally do, but I wanted to get it all out. I may have repeated a few things, but this is a live video, so I'm not able to stop it and cut it and go back. It is what it is. If there's something that's unclear, feel free to leave me a message in the comments. I'll respond. If there's anything that I forgot in the description box that you need, let me know. I'll go back and put it in, and I'll respond to you too with that information so you have it either way, whether you look in the description box again or just in the comments. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Please have a great weekend. Please rest, take care of yourselves, do something fun, nourish your soul, care for your body, mind your spirit, all of those things. Do all the good things. I will talk to you all on Monday. Okay. So take care, have a good one, and enjoy yourselves. Bye bye.